Marco's ready. I'm pushing the button.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Mrs. Ryan? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I heard it.
That's good. I liked it. I like that you're enthusiastic. Oh, look what you're wearing. I didn't even notice that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Why are you wearing that today, Mrs. Ryan?
Well, there is someone here that makes sense to wear it, but I happen to really love this sweatshirt.
Yeah, you wear it a lot.
I do, but it's a TLG shirt, and Marco's here.
Yeah, he is. Marco Gerasi from TLG is in the house with the thumbs up currently, and a wrench on your arm, which I'm just happening to assume would be a 13 millimeter, of course.
Yeah.
It's a tattoo. He doesn't have a wrench on his arm. That would be weird.
Skin.
The RoboCop of Porsche technicians.
There you go. I fixed you.
This is kind of neat. It's awesome. This is our last official show before the holidays, before the break, before all of the, I don't know, festivities, I guess.
Right.
There may be a couple pop-ups, but just because of that doesn't matter. There's
Life.
stuff going on. Yeah, but for right now, Mrs. Ryan, welcome back, everybody. Today is Thursday, December 20th, 2018. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans, and this is it. Tonight's show.
Do.
What's going on with you?
Geez, Louise.
Oh, boy. That much or that little?
Both. I've had to slow way down, so I've been thinking a lot more about my writing and doing a ton more research for that because my legs don't work as well, but they are getting stronger. So I went out and walked this morning. So,
yes, you did. You came back. You're caning it a bit, but it's not awful.
I'm learning how to use it. I'm still not proficient with it, and I don't think I want to be.
Good for you. You lean on it where you need to. And
yeah. I try to carry it more than use it. It's actually easier for me to carry it. It's better for weight distribution sometimes.
Whatever you need to do for you, for sure. It's kind of neat. It's the end of the year. We haven't been doing this for a year, but it's the end of the year of our first year doing this. And it's kind of, I'm a little reflective. I was watching old videos and stuff. In fact, I'm going to play one in a little bit.
Yeah.
But first, I was thinking about yesterday's guest and how cool it was to be able to have some of those conversations so openly and honestly. I mean, in a forum like this. Mm-hmm. And I was curious how you felt about it and how you took that information and just how you doing with it.
It resonated really deep. It was incredibly reassuring to talk to someone knowledgeable about it, not just recreational, like, I like to do this, it's fun for me,
right.
But someone that knows, like, the machinations of it and not necessarily the chemistry of it. Like, I don't necessarily care that deeply about that part of it. Mm-hmm. I'm conscientious about the environment, all that shit, of course, and like the chemicals that are in it. But like, I trust him that that's not part of the equation to talk to him about. Mm. So, it was really neat to talk to someone that knew the product so through and through. It was reassuring.
Talking about Matt Abrams, he was yesterday's guest, but he owns a cannabis dispensary, and he's a CEO for a company that he consults with a company that opens up cannabis dispensaries as well. So got a lot of experience on there, but it was kind of neat. And also with that, Mrs. Ryan, that brings me to the first thing of the day for me.
What is it?
Some viewer mail. Matt Abrams from One Love Collective sent some stuff after the show, after his appearance yesterday.
That's so nice.
Very nice. I'll give that stuff to you to open up and please go through, and some stickers.
Shirts.
I already put one on the
I'm
wall over there.
V-necks for me, but it looks like it'll.
But look, I Leaf Long Beach, like I Heart.
Nice.
And then One Love Beach Club, with I guess that's their logo for the place.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of
neat.
It's kind of neat. You know, this is new territory for all of us.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am so going to wear this a lot.
There you go.
This is hilarious.
You know what I mean? It's new territory. We've never been poster children for this sort of thing, considering neither one of us ever even were into it before you got sick.
No, they're the same.
Awesome.
Those are just boy versions, but
Awesome.
I really love these, and I'm going to wear them a lot.
Very cool.
You're right, because I wasn't into it before, and I was actually, in a way, like, against it, really. And so it's
Good
been
for you for saying that. It makes a big difference for... It makes a big difference in my mind. If somebody says that, I assume it would be the same for the people watching.
Anyone watching didn't know me before. And so that's a huge disservice in the sense that I'm so different. But I was never a cannabis person. I was never a pot smoker. I was never that person that like even supported it, let alone was like supported the use of it anyway, let alone like the proponent of it that I've become and like
medicinal use.
Yeah, medicinal. I mean, yes. And
they just want to get high.
It's not that. So I run into stigmas all the time, whether it's about cannabis or how I walk. Like what I've gotten really
you all know how stigmas can be
desensitized to like, which I think is the part of the point. Like now I'm just like ask anything. I will
think
answer
that's
you.
So cool for you. I mean, for you and your own personal growth
Yeah.
to be that open and honest with people. It's disarming. It's great for you.
Yeah.
I'm
good.
excited about your journey.
Thanks.
It sucks that we have to go on it. It sucks that you have to go on it. Really much more so. Sucks that I have to go on it with you, but I'm in weird ways grateful for it at the same time.
Yeah, same. I've learned a lot.
Perspective.
Yes.
The perspective you gain is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's not so. It's like that Joan whatever song, both sides.
Joni Mitchell
Yep,
from both sides
that's
now.
the one.
Woo!
Love Actually.
Awesome. That's why we're married, because I can read you. All right, Mrs. Ryan, let's see. I've got, there was that. I've got to go behind the orange curtain, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right, real quick. Take a journey down to Auto Kennel down in Orange County. Paul Kramer with Behind the Orange Curtain. Roll it, Hal.
Good morning, Jay and Nicole Ryan from Paul Kramer Behind the Orange Curtain here at Auto Kennel. I know, Jay, we have talked about 993s. You drove that 993 we had a while back, the silver C2S that I drove up on Angeles Crest. Here's the gray one we got. The good news is I did sell it, which is also bad news for you, but I know the timing's not right. But this would have been the kind of car I like, which is higher miles, and it's a bitchin' color, slate gray metallic. You know, the metallic version of Steve McQueen's color, 6-speed manual, gray, black interior, just a kind of a cool car. I know it looks like right-hand drive, but it is left-hand drive. The iPhone flips it around. So miss you guys. I don't know if I'll be up there this Friday for Breakfast Club. I'll try. I was going to drive this up there. Since we have money, I'm not going to touch it. So love you guys. See ya.
So great.
I know, right? He's so funny.
Oh, he's so funny.
I love it.
Love that guy. It looks like right-hand drive. Slam.
Well, he's just so funny. I mean, he's the 993 S's have been calling to us lately for sure.
He sold that one, yeah?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Said, don't worry about it. I'm not bringing it to Breakfast Club. Don't worry about it. This one's already sold. Don't worry about it.
I know he's had like a tremendous couple months. He sold all of his inventory that he had, so I can't wait to see what he gets in next time.
Last week, yeah, he did come to Breakfast Club, and there were throughout the week, there were 3 different cars he was going to bring, and only because each one sold as the week went on did he end up just bringing Tortuga, because he literally, Auto Kennel did not have a car for sale.
I do not have another one for you two to drive.
It's the holidays, so, and you know, people are picking up last-minute gift items.
Awesome. I love it.
Mrs. Ryan, I brought up reflecting. It's the end of the year. I was looking at some old videos, and I thought, what better? I mean, we've been on the air for almost a year now. Coming up, once we're in the new year, it'll be a countdown to like, holy cow, a year.
Jeez Louise.
So what that made me did done think about creating a new segment called Roll It, Hal.
Standing
Perfect.
traffic.
There was no thinking, just reacting.
Where
Oh my
was
God.
this, you guys?
All 5 lanes are closed on Highway 5.
Oh,
Yes.
is it mudslide or? The early arrivals. Fellas, I seem to get Derek's arrival every time.
Power slides today. One of the two.
So I just read it's not a competition.
But you're gonna try and win, right?
Yeah, right? Follow. Oh my God.
That's Klaus, everybody. We just met him. He came in from Vegas for this.
So last year everybody got one, but nobody looked at it. Everybody took a ride on Decker Canyon. Continue to Mulholland. It's basically like 2 small routes. We're going up, going back down to PCH, going south, then going back up.
Saturday morning, the Professor Run. Everyone is about to roll out.
Safe drive, Professor.
Thank you. To you. You get an A for the semester, by the way.
Nice.
Okay, now. All right, we got it now.
Professor Run, top of Piuma. P-break. Selfie mode.
Such a good selfie. Just want to make sure we got it all.
Get it?
I love life with the Ryans.
Yeah, I think so. Sheldon's leaving, so we want to get it in. We're here at Lit. After the Professor Run. It was pretty crazy. Hi, Mrs. Ryan. Ah! We love LA.
What about that,
I
Mrs. Ryan?
love that video. There's so many fun faces in there that I haven't seen in a minute.
Fond memories. Getting thumbs up from Marco.
Yeah. I
That was a
love
great
that
day.
one.
That was a great day.
Great
That
day.
was shout out to the professor. That was a professor run. I think it's in March is when it was something. We were at the Lit show, so it ended up being Lit Week, of course.
Yeah.
But I was going through old stuff, the end of the year, just kind of cataloging and whatever, and kind of thought, oh man, we've got all these old videos that are so cool, and we've been up and running long enough that it's been long enough that we haven't seen them in a while. May as well do a TBT
I
segment
love
on
that.
the Thursday shows. Why not?
It's a great idea.
And shout out to the professor and all of the people who were on that run, but the professor for organizing it. We just love you. I mean, if the amount of effort I put into that doesn't tell you, I'm telling you now, we love you.
Love you lots. That was so much fun that day.
Yeah, it's
And
good
I
stuff.
loved it, despite it was like drizzly and rainy and shit you can see in the movie, and I love that.
It's almost what made it better.
Yeah.
Because it really, I don't know how to say this properly, but it weeded out those that probably didn't need to be there.
I know what you
Is
mean.
that fair?
It's a
Marco's
nice way to
taking
say that.
Hopefully Instagramming or something.
Everyone knows.
Marco's
It is
making
what
famous.
it is. It's just nicer. Hi. Sometimes it's just nicer when you're with your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was neat to me about that, I was thinking to myself, ooh, tomorrow's Breakfast Club. Ooh, we should play a Breakfast Club video. And then as I was coming across them, looking through the Breakfast Club videos, I stumbled upon that one. And it's all the same people. Every single person in that video has been to Breakfast Club. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's all the same stuff. Going into the holiday weekend, seeing all those same people. Kinda good
Nice
stuff,
shout
Mrs.
out to
Ryan.
family.
All right.
I like it.
I like you. And with that, it's time to ask the question that's on everyone's mind.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Right?
What's going on, Mrs. Ryan?
Da 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 da. What's going on today is that okay? This cracked me up because it's so stupid, and I have to put it in the category of like why, but who knows where it'll pop up. There's going to be 4 new Oreo flavors next year.
Oh, I'm out. Come on,
It's
man.
so ridiculous.
I was fine when they made the vanilla one because it was basically like a Vienna finger, which was great. But
Yeah.
now they were the same size, so you know what I mean? But the rest of them, I don't get it.
They've gotten crazy. It's going to be like dark chocolate and one that has purple cream and carrot cake. Like, who cares? Like, eat
Well, I'm
the
happy
real
for them,
thing.
and if people like it, great. But it's not for me.
Yeah, agreed. It just sounds icky.
To me, I like things that are things. I like Oreos that are Oreos.
Yeah.
I like cars that do this. I like machines that do this. You know what I mean?
It doesn't sound like an Oreo to me. None of this. It sounds like
I don't
crap.
need one thing for everything, and I don't need everything to be one thing, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Just a heads up then.
But by all means, what are the flavors again?
Dark chocolate, carrot cake, Easter egg, which is really just purple dyed cream.
Yeah, what's the
And
flavor of Easter egg? I mean, egg?
I couldn't find it anywhere, so it's just like purple.
Cotton candy, I bet.
And the last one is love, which is sweet and tangy. Gross.
Love is sweet and tangy.
That's the flavor. Ew. And yeah. Obviously, it's Valentine's Day and Easter. I don't know what dark
Oh, I
chocolate
see.
and carrot
Of
cake are
course.
for, but gross.
Well, Easter still.
It's disgusting.
All right.
Tomorrow is the winter solstice.
Oh,
which
is that
means
shortest?
The shortest
Another thumbs
day
up.
of light and dark. So there's an immediate...
First day of winter, Marco says. Is
Yes,
that true too?
officially the first day of winter.
Ooh, it's going to get cold.
It's going to get cold. It usually goes through January.
50. Marco says it's going to be 50.
Turns into Capricorn tomorrow for any of
Oh,
the
I'm
people that are paying attention to astrology.
That's very serious.
No, it's not really that serious. It's just immediately followed by a full moon, which is a big deal.
Oh, that is a big deal for you, for what you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just neat that they're so close together.
What
They're
it-
not often so close together.
What exactly is is it shedding? Is it a shedding process?
The new moon?
Yeah.
It's
Rebirth.
both death and rebirth
Okay. That's very cool.
of ideas and emotions.
So it's always a
and-
good thing, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's also a nice time to be reflective.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So good job on
When
that.
is the full moon?
The 22nd. Solstice is tomorrow.
I heard there was a thing that the Earth may end on the 21st, though. So I mean,
That was
no.
a bunch of years ago.
No.
that idea.
Well, yeah, you're right. That was 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Was that December 21st, 2012?
There's discrepancies with the 12th or 21st, but yeah,
Well, whatever.
one of those two.
This one was unrelated to the 2012 controversy. It was some other reason.
Oh, well, then maybe you won't need my
Whole new
information.
shit to worry about.
Or enjoy.
But anyway, on the 22nd,
Yeah. So if you're still around, like,
if my thing doesn't work out, look out for her thing.
there's a new moon if the world doesn't end. if you're into robots, the Da Vinci surgical system is now being used as a robotic surgeon, basically.
Whoa. Like
The
laparoscopic, whatever.
well, they're saying it's
There's not even a
for-
guy anymore. It's just the robot doing it.
Yes, and so
Holy
they're like,
smokes.
"Oh, this is good for like minorly invasive procedures." But like the example used was a hysterectomy, which doesn't seem minor to me. But maybe I'm
I mean,
crazy.
compared to
It
like
might
a
be.
heart surgery
Well,
or
this
a lung
woman.
transplant,
Okay, that's fair.
or like
But
reattaching an arm.
this woman had a bunch of complications. So like the fact
Take
that
it easy.
this was being touted
Getting
as
angry.
like the new to do. Lower that. Just seemed weird, but there was.
I'm the red team over here. It's my job to to poke holes.
I appreciate it. Now it's an option though, and apparently it's an option locally because the photo they used was from a center in Duarte.
Duarte, California, like where Jack lives?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Or like we've taken the metro there or some shit.
Holy
like,
smokes.
so
It's
apparently,
close.
yes.
All right.
I thought so. So it's an option nationwide. Should you want a robot? The pros are that they have
It's an option nationwide should you want a robot.
should you want a robot?
When I was a kid, Marco, can you back me up on this? I wanted a damn robot. I wanted Robbie the robot and the remote control thing that was going to bring my drink to me from the fridge and all this stuff. Do you remember that?
Robot, but only to help me play Nintendo.
It's kind of the same thing. It was on the Gyromite. It was before the gun that you had, the Duck Hunt.
Oh.
It used this is crazy. Hijacking and hijack for Duarte. But it used to be a little robot thing that would like wheel around on your coffee table to what was going on in the game. That's what you're talking about, right?
Oh, it had these little spinners, and when you wanted the things to open and close, the spinner would move, and it would like weight the arms of the robot to open and close. It was Rob the robot.
Whoa! But it was Nintendo, right?
Nintendo.
Yeah, and it was like on the coffee table while you played the game.
But I didn't have it, so
Me neither.
I
Yeah,
lived
but the
vicariously
commercial.
through commercials.
The commercial, yeah. I didn't have the 7-foot aircraft
What
carrier
year
G.I.
was
Joe
this?
either, but I always wanted it.
ish. What year?
I'm going probably 80s now.
84,
80s into
no,
9.
it was 84, 85.
There you go.
All right,
From
I think
Kenner.
it's before I got Nintendo. So apparently these robots that do surgery have like more precise, whatever. I mean, who
I'm sure
knows?
they're much better. I was just kidding.
Steadier
when I was a kid, we did
hands,
actually want
but
robots.
like, gross. I want.
But this is the future, right? Because it's whatever you see in the movies. So I mean, there's going to be, we're just going to scan people, and then they'll be able to. Oh,
I'm
you
not
need a new
opposed
lung,
to
and
it,
they'll
but I
just-
don't think they should replace people. Like that seems ridiculous. Like I don't want to go into a room and have a robot cut me open.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd almost rather it these days. What's going to do it however it was programmed. You know what I mean? Versus
Yeah.
like, oh, that guy, how is his day going? I'm sorry,
It's a
I'm
fair
that guy.
point. I just it makes me a little nervous, but yeah, I get there's pros and cons. Outside of San Francisco, the
Presidio?
Yeah. They the national park there, they've planted 75 new saplings that are actually their DNA is from an ancient descendant of a redwood that used to be there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So in the weirdest way, like, you can come home again.
Yeah, they're repopulating
It's
the
the same
park forest with the real forest.
Great grandkid of. That's neat.
I think it sounds neat. I love that they're adding trees. It's near the Golden Gate Bridge, apparently.
This is a more of the as above, so below. I mean, if you apply what you know about people to plants and botany, the similarities are remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the genetic modifying, engineering, all that stuff. I mean, they've got DNA on that tree. That's how they know it's from so and so, and who his parents were, and
Yeah.
it's all the same.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then my last one that I just can't not talk about is Elon Musk is now tackling the
exciting.
internet.
Oh boy, I don't know about this.
SpaceX released a couple satellites to try out and make sure they could do it, but their idea
providing
is
internet
to
for everybody?
yeah, which is their whole thing is to provide an alternative for cellular, which is all that really exists right now.
If we could do something up there and not the 5G down here, there's nothing I can do about it, but I am so against 5G. I mean, like beyond, especially because we moved out of Venice because that cell
'Cause
tower
of the
moved in and we felt all, yeah,
zzz.
exactly. Well, it took
Yeah.
a while to trace it to that, but et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that all that stuff is going to be really, really bad for people, and that whatever. I'm a big fan of doing something that can accomplish the same thing that's a little bit further away from us.
Yeah,
Great.
there's going to be a ton of satellites, something like 110,000 of them. But you know what? Like,
but they're up there and not
I'm into
every
the idea.
500 feet, which is what it has to be for this 5G to work.
It's
Across
not
the
cords
entire
running
planet.
underneath you and like charging your house. It's like coming down.
It's
from,
nodes every 500 feet. No joke. I'm not exaggerating. That's how close they have to be to work every 500 feet. Why are you shaking
I'm
your
in.
head? Oh, you don't like it? Yeah, no, me neither. Yeah, but meanwhile, they're installed all around us already. It's not like a conspiracy theory. This is the new technology. It's just that however it has to be, I hope it doesn't last long because I don't like it. I think there's going to be a lot of problems that arise from it.
You go subterranean.
Yeah, or like she's saying, like up, the opposite, way up there, Elon Musk.
I like that he's at least thinking about it. So cool.
The tunnel thing is pretty neat. You brought it up yesterday on the show, and then I watched a thing on Casey Neistat made a video about it today or yesterday. It doesn't look at all like what was described about getting on a sled that goes down and the sled move. Do you remember that, the whole thing? What this Hyperloop was supposed to be? So it doesn't actually look like that. But this, I'm assuming, is a very early version. This, to me, almost is like a reverse monorail. Like they put
that's
guides
what
on
all
the
I
car.
could think of. Yeah.
It's like the Autopia. It's just in a tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like fold the mirrors in and it just pulls you along.
That's what it
No
seemed
joke.
like
No,
to me.
I mean, we watched the video in case that they did it. They go through it. It's pretty wild.
That's
and it's
pretty
all in
neat.
Hawthorne. So they're all over in these tents at the airport or wherever Tesla is over there, and then they get bussed 8 at a time. They get bussed to some nondescript location in the neighborhood. They have to leave the airport and go like through some houses, and then there's like a nondescript building with a fence that opens, and then a curtain that goes up, and then there's a guy there who's armed with a bulletproof vest and the whole thing, who's like, "Yep, clear to come in here." You would never know where this thing is.
Oh, neat.
It's just down there in Hawthorne someplace. Isn't that wild?
It's so trippy.
I know. It was really wild to me, too, because I was like, wait, does that mean there's just tunnels under these people's houses and they have nothing to do or say about it?
That's crazy.
I thought it was so neat, though. He's just
rad.
Because it's already done. It's nobody can do
What are you
anything
gonna
about
do?
it.
It's the first of many. Get used to it, man.
So that's it? That's been what's going on?
The
Mrs.
only
Ryan?
other thing I see on here, sorry, is that Reed Donovan got picked up for season 7, and I love that show and that guy.
But you stopped watching it a season ago when they killed his wife. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. So you're not even caught up on it. So
I'm not
you
at
should
all
watch
caught
a couple
up.
seasons if you want to watch the new one.
Okay.
But also, I love Liev Schreiber also.
That's all I just saw in the news. What's going on?
But you see how you had it? We were there, and then it was like
And then I ruined it.
No ruining.
I meandered too far.
You're not on the showmanship train yet, that's for sure. Ending on the high note.
Okay.
So let's find a high note real quick.
High note?
Ah, you did it. You did it. See, all you got to do is be cute. That's all people want. You're adorable. That's been What's Going On.
Oh.
That's why we do all of it. That's why we do all of it, so people can hear you laugh. I'm telling you. That's why I do it. All right, we've been going on forever, Mrs. Ryan. This is like the craziest.
Time for Marco.
Marco, if you're not asleep or needing to go home now, you ready to come in?
Marco's coming in.
We're going to take a quick break. Marco GERACE from TLG will be here. We're going to talk Porsche stuff. We're going to talk about what's been going on with him and Matt Farah and the smoking tire and his engine, and the internet's been blowing up. YouTube is eating him alive, and we're going to change all that. So in a few minutes, Marco GERACE will be here. Cool. Until then, watch this video of us getting ready for it. More to come.
glare on my glasses.
And with that, we're back. No, I'll take mine off so you can see me.
Okay.
But you look fabulous. You can't see without your glasses, can you?
I can see about as far as the coffee cup, but I'm not.
I'm a little
blind.
beyond that.
I'm not a blind person. It's just fuzzy. It starts to lose definition.
Yeah.
But I can still read Idle Jets without my glasses.
What's that?
And that's what?
What's Idle Jets?
It's
on one second.
carbureted. It's for
All right, we are back. You're just. Hello, everybody. We are back, and Marco Gerasi is here. What is up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. How
Please
are you
carry
guys?
on.
Hi.
Please carry on.
I'm so.
I
pumped to be
just
back.
you made a reference and I didn't know what it was.
That's
so.
okay.
What was it? Idler Jets? Is that what you
Idle
said?
Jets.
Idle
yeah.
Jets.
Like I said, I could still read Idle Jets, right? So like for years, my dad was like, "Hey, Marco, what does this say?" And I'm like, "You can't read that." He's like, "No, get over here." So,
Yeah.
but still, I can still do that. And
Still don't know what Idle Jets is.
It's in
Porsche part?
In any carburetor. There's an idle circuit and a main circuit.
Got it.
And the idle jet is basically how you calibrate the amount of fuel going into the carburetor in the idle circuit.
Oh, I get that. Thanks.
This deal?
Well, sort of. It's a.
That was amazing. Your face was so. Well,
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but you're not
no,
right.
You're so good. I know that was your face. You was. Sort of.
I wanted to
The
explain
internal
it.
fight was awesome, and
just-
it happened like it was a triple take internally.
I like to explain things, and that didn't require explanation.
You're so good.
Sorry.
What's up, man?
Nothing.
How have you been?
I have been very busy.
We should. This is happening in real time. It's tonight's show, so we're recording this today. It's Thursday the 20th. You have just shut down the shop for the holiday season.
I have. For the first time in many years, we're actually taking a vacation.
It's
How does that
exciting.
feel?
Feels like I should probably go to work tomorrow.
Will you? Will you get up and go in anyway?
No.
Good for
I'm
you.
You know what I'm doing tomorrow?
Let's hear it.
Breakfast Club.
Hey, are you really?
For sure.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
And I'm bringing a special car.
Oh, really?
I am.
No
yeah.
kidding.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
my
bringing my
goodness.
dad's car.
Get out of town.
Yeah, so like right after my dad passed away, my dad had 2 early 9/11s.
Your dad, Tony.
My dad, Tony,
Gerasi
yeah.
of TLG.
Yeah. So he had 2 early 9/11s. One he drove fairly regularly, and one he didn't drive much once he had built the second one. So it was stored on my parents. They built a garage. Long story as to why, but they built a garage that would accommodate a stacking lift, right? Like a drive-on
Nice.
lift.
Beautiful.
And so the blue car lived upstairs, lived on the
Correct.
the upper. That was great.
We're following along.
lived
We have fact checkers.
Up, right?
Real time.
So anyway, I had my 914 parked under it, and I came out to go look at the car one day, and I realized that all the paint on my hood had been peeled off by brake fluid. Oh. Because the master cylinder in my dad's blue car just gave up. And so
And just leak right on the hood.
right on the hood of my 914. So right before I sold the 914, I had to paint the hood.
Oh, man.
But, it is what it is. So the car, I took it back to the shop. Rod helped me with that with his ramp truck. We had a great adventure. It was
Rod
hilarious.
Emery.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
hilarious.
cool. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, so I've got pictures somewhere of like my
old
dad's vintage
transporter,
car on the ramp truck, like it's bitching, and we drove it across the valley in the middle of the night, 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. It was really a fun trip.
That's so cool.
Long story short, which is impossible, but I finally pushed the car over to the working side of the shop today or yesterday because we had some time because we've been winding down for
Right.
vacation, and so we did the master cylinder, bled the brakes. Now the car's got it clean today, and before I take the motor out, I'm gonna
Drive
a
it.
little bit. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I hope it's registered.
That's so
I don't
cool.
really care, but I'm doing it anyway.
Well, you've got a shop plate. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be really neat.
Yeah.
So I'm
The
looking.
neat
And,
story.
and I know you won't drive it if you're not confident it'll make it, so I
Oh,
can't
it'll
wait to see it
it'll
up there.
drive to New York and back. I'm not worried about that.
That's awesome.
The motor's been in it forever. It's a stone reliable vehicle, but it's just nice. The last time I drove it was to my dad's memorial service. So it's just cool to dig it up. And that was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, and now it's the holidays. And you
Yeah.
got your own. I mean, gee whiz,
Just
man.
a good time to pull it out of the.
You're saying all the right stuff, tugging at the heartstrings to the right guy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it like that. Honestly, it's just a car. you know, and I
Not anymore,
haven't driven
man.
it, so it needs to be driven.
It's probably to you if I had access to, like, my dad had only a couple of cool cars, but like he had a Grand National that was a cool car.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Now it's a really cool. At the time, it was the Connecticut State Trooper car.
A
But
Grand National, a Buick T-Type was the Connecticut.
you're
State.
friends with Matt Farah. Ask him if he remembers, because he's a little bit younger than me, but about the same age. The Fox Body Mustang that he has and the Buick Grand National were highway patrol. We didn't have highway patrol. State Trooper chase cars.
No shit.
On 95 and
I knew
Merritt
that
Parkway and all that stuff.
The 5-liter, sure, seen them everywhere.
Yeah.
Not that surprising.
Here's why it was cool. My dad bought that car, put a K48 whip antenna on the back, had his little New England Chiefs of Police Association sticker on the back, and the whole thing. And he was not a leadfoot by any means, which was why it was the most ironic car ever for him. But he was an old firefighter, and he loved the radio and the thing, and it was just like, part the waters. Everybody got the F out of the way.
That is awesome.
Just like driving, these days, like a Caprice or something, or a Crown Vic.
Oh.
But back then, it wasn't. You couldn't just do that,
I can't believe that Connecticut had the balls to put turbo cars into service like that.
Ask him if he remembers, because it's one of those things I know we could look up. But
I'm
I've
sure
never
you're
actually
right.
looked
I'm
it
not
up.
doubting you. I'm sitting here shocked.
But I bet the
If
stories
anybody,
are
Connecticut, of course.
tremendous. Like any kid, high schooler that like just got their license and thought they were cool, like they did where I'm from.
They got gobbled up
They
by
got-
the cops.
Well, but it didn't
No
look
way,
like
my God.
it wasn't like a Mustang or like there's Corvette
Yeah.
cop cars too. This one was just a boxy car. It looks like a Buick Regal. It's the same thing as a
They're,
Buick Regal
they're
or a
square
Grand Prix.
or rectangle, right?
Yeah, like 3 boxes, like 2 boxes and one on top.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So-
essentially
Like
it.
a 914.
But they came with white letter tires, you know what I mean,
Yeah, they did really
and
smoky
mag wheels.
burnouts and-
It had like the General Lee wheels, whatever those American
good.
racing wheels,
So
And
good.
they're
I didn't know
fast, right? Like they're super fast.
When it was built, and this is what doesn't make sense about this car. When it was built, I think it was the fastest production car
Something
made
like
at
that.
the
Well,
time.
so here's this, right? So I was listening to
Buick.
I was listening to Matt's show, and he had Gail Banks on from Banks Engineering or Banks Horsepower, whatever it is. And Gail Banks is an old school turbo guy who's responsible for the Grand National.
He put the engine in?
He invented it.
No shit.
And he went to Buick, and they it worked on this project. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And so anyway, it's just kind of full circle that you mentioned the Grand National and da 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 da. So.
Well, that's very cool. My friend, let's rewind it all. A very, very good friend in my life is Kat DeLorean. Her father was John DeLorean. So he's known, of course, for the DeLorean car. But before that, created the fucking muscle car with the GTO. And many incarnations. The Pontiac Trans Am was him. There's a lot of cars that were iconic. But putting the big engine in the little car, he started that.
Yeah.
So like whoever you were talking about, it's almost like another Maverick like him, just following the same, actually following the same big engine little car.
Yeah, I mean,
Same
but Gail
formula.
Banks was a horsepower guy, and he was into getting horsepower, however you could do it, and turbocharging, and
Because forced induction wasn't going on, but every car on the road is turbo now. But back then, it was a thing. It was a thing.
It was magic. It was black magic, right?
Didn't make
And
sense.
You had to understand all these different, physics. You had to understand like physics and kind of engineering properties to understand like when you multiply the atmospheric pressure in the manifold, what other things have to happen so that the motor doesn't go.
Right.
Back pressure and things like that.
Yeah, but or just like what stoichiometric fueling is, so like 14.8 to 1 air fuel ratios. And
it's all sorts of science.
all that scientific and barometric pressures and how that shit affects.
Well, because
everything.
fluid is affected differently than matter, right?
What?
Whoa. Fluid is a matter.
Fluid
Solid
is
is a matter.
matter.
Gas is matter.
Fluid.
But it's like properties, right? So like temperature of the day, atmospheric pressures, barometric pressures, the condensation in the air. All of these things are things that this guy Gail Banks was like measuring and figuring out while figuring out how to multiply the induction charge with a turbocharger or some sort of blower, a centrifugal blower or whatever. And so, but to do it for a quarter mile on a racetrack is one thing.
Supercharge
but
it.
to do it in a production vehicle in 1980 whatever was magic, or even before that in the 70s when they were inventing, the turbocharged Trans Ams and whatnot. You know,
Well, that's when they invented cars. Like, they had neat ideas for stuff, right? Like, back in the 70s, 80s.
It's just, you know.
There's a lot of neat stuff that came out of there. I feel.
Out of necessity from the gas crunch.
The end of in the 70s,
there was no performance cars.
Well, that's what happened. That's when they all got choked down.
That's right. And so that's where the idea for the T-Type and turbocharging came from. Is from the need for a performance vehicle.
This is the shit that people don't understand.
More
Like,
performance
I don't know
out
enough
of the
about
same,
it, honestly.
But out of less. It needed to be more efficient. We needed to be things more efficient, right?
Right.
But somehow have more horsepower. But these days, the cars run on damn air. You know what I mean? Like, I'm amazed that they're cranking 300-400 horsepower out of a little Honda 2-cylinder almost.
Yeah.
But see, the thing about it now is it's not even so much.
The Volvos are doing it with the turbocharged, supercharged 4-cylinders.
I almost bought one of those. I was like, I dodged the bullet, but I almost bought one. It was really a good car. But what I'm saying is that like, we've reached the point where, like, okay, we know that turbochargers can do this for us. We know that what we have to do to make them live. So now they're just like focusing on variable turbocharging, variable vane turbos, and variable cam timing. And then you have all this computing power and the electronics to control it all. And suddenly,
well, and they're also, it used to be, have one, have two. Now it's like, well, you have a small one and a big one. No, you have two small ones and two big ones.
Yeah.
They have different ratios in that way as well.
The digital side of things, the management, has opened Pandora's box and has allowed so much more fine tuning and to allow these motors to make the power and the fuel economy and the emissions.
In the old days, if you were driving a turbo car, this is me driving a turbo car. Universal sign for driving a turbo car. In the old days, you're driving a turbo car and you mash it and it was sort of like, okay, it's kind of the same car that it was without the turbo. And then all of a sudden, and it would just punch you with so much power. Over the years, they've gotten that out, so it's basically just like, you have the power all the time. It's like a regular pedal. There's no
it's smooth.
Turbo lag. You hear people talk about turbo lag. They've minimized it to almost as much as you certainly could because they've got it future thinking. They've got them pre-spooled now and everything, right. So it basically has minimized it.
Yeah, with all the electronic controls and variable vane turbos, you can get them spooled up quicker, and then you change them so they still continue to make pressure at higher RPMs. I mean, it's magic.
The M4 we had was twin turbo. It was the same kind of thing. It just had so much technology in it that it was almost, you almost couldn't drive it. You had to read it.
So idle jets are
nice. Boom.
I just like, how did we go down that rabbit hole?
I don't know. Good job. Way to bring it back.
Sorry.
It happens to him all the time.
So there you go. Now we know.
So anyway,
I want to get into, before anything else, since we just brought him up, and since you're weak, I've been in to see you a couple times, but you have been dealing with some stuff just from the meanies on the internet. Matt Farah, let's talk about that. The Smoking Tire, everyone knows their podcast because none of these would exist without that one being so successful. He's a friend of yours. He's a customer of yours. You're doing some work for him right now. And he posted Matt Farah posted a video the other day, and it's all hell has broken loose for you since.
Well, yeah, like
tell me. I mean, I seriously, I know nothing. Like,
so Matt asked me to give him a rundown, like on video, of why his motor was doing what it was doing, why it was smoking and consuming oil, right? So after taking the motor apart and really seeing the inside of it, I did what he asked. I gave him the rundown, but I took such a beating in the comments section of YouTube, and I mean, like some of it. I told him
you never go to the comments section on YouTube.
Never read it. I kind of expected it. Like, I mean, you just gotta expect it. No one's ever gonna make everyone all happy all the time. Like,
never.
Someone's always got something to say.
But you're a good guy,
and I was like, man, all I'm doing is giving information. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. You don't have to agree with my assessment. You don't have to agree with my methods. That's fine. But the things that I do and the things that I've learned come from people who've been doing these things and learning these things for 50 years. And I've been doing this my entire life. I mean, professionally, I've been doing this for 20 years. Every day for 20 years. I've been doing this for longer. Like hobby style for 10 years prior to that. You know what I mean?
You grew up in and around it, period.
So like I've been listening, I've been watching, I've been asking questions my entire life. And at 10 years old, my dad said, take that motor apart. And when you're doing it, do this to mark the barrels and mark the pistons. And that was when I was, 10.
Yeah.
I'm 40 almost, and so
Are you close?
I'm 38. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
I'm almost 40. Like it works. I've done it. I've seen it. I haven't had a problem. You know, I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the best engine builder. I'm not the worst engine builder. I'm a guy who's good at his job, or I try to be every day better than before. And I mean, God, these guys just whip my ass on YouTube comments.
What's what trolls are about?
That's all it is.
fine.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm trying
take
to
it
say
personally. I don't take it personally.
Also, it's
but just
perspective. Like, who knows what the hell that... I told them the pajama people, you know what I mean? You don't know what the hell that person
Yeah,
is
that's what we
going
called them.
on in their life. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's chances are it's not what you have going on in yours.
I just know what's wrong and how to fix it.
Chances are too they don't know what they're talking about.
So
like they haven't
what are they
like,
saying?
physically put their hands
okay.
on.
So
That's a good
there
point.
were two things that they took the most umbrage with. One was that I marked the top of the piston with
How dare you?
a stamp, right? Literally a stamp.
Like a metal stamp? Like
a metal
pa-tink?
stamp. Yeah, you hit it. Oops, sorry. You just you put the thing on the piston and you hit it, and it leaves a little impression.
Is that so that you can mark which one is from which?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that makes
cylinder
sense.
number 1, you mark the barrel and the piston, and they go together for the rest of their days.
What's the
So you
problem
don't cut
so
off
far?
the wrong arm.
Oh, the location of it. Are they thinking that it would
They
provide...
think that it's going to create hot spots in the top of the piston and blah 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 blah. But now
on the top, though, right?
Well, on the crown.
Yeah.
On the crown of the piston.
That's what I mean. It's
Right.
not on the side.
No, but the bottom line is that Molly makes those exact same marks in the tops of the pistons. They just do it in a different location than me.
And everybody
they-
else who knows who Molly is.
Oh, they're the piston manufacturer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, they're just the
I thought
people
it was
that make them.
Someone who worked
and then,
in your
you know,
shop.
there are raised portions of the piston that are there. And, you know,
It's a weird. It's not a flat top. It's a weird because it
Yeah.
has to handle the combustion, right? So it's
Right.
a weird shape and
it's
stuff.
got a crown and it's in weird shape for, you know.
For the layman out there, I know most.
Yeah,
of our
no,
people,
that's
but
fine.
Mrs. Ryan doesn't know what we're
but
talking about.
The short story is that it's not like this motor is going to be, you know, a 13-to-1 race motor.
Oh, compression.
So
yeah.
so it's not. You're not. The cylinder temps and the pressures are not to the point where these kinds of things come into play. If you're building a race motor where you're at 13.5-to-1 compression ratio, yes, that would be an issue. But you're also not marking the piston for that.
Right,
What
so
you're
what
doing
you
is you're
did-
using the piston and throwing it away and getting a new one because
What you
after
did is-
40 hours.
is absolutely ensure that this thing is going to go back together the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to. So that one's out of my concern fully.
Right.
Anybody on the internet who says otherwise is probably wrong.
I'm not worried about it. Like I've done it 100 times and they've all been bitching. Like
Yeah.
they've all run really, really
If
well.
there was any chance, you probably wouldn't do it on one of the most highly publicized engine rebuilds there ever will be.
Yeah.
You know what
Wow,
I'm
since
saying?
You put it that way.
No, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. But like my
It's your methodology.
my methods work for me.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like what I do? I'm sorry.
Go to a different place.
Cool.
Yeah,
What's the second
The second thing
critique?
is they don't like the price I quoted, the range of dollars, right? That's the other complaint. But
Were you being safe?
well, I hadn't done the numbers.
That's what I mean.
I
Were
was
you
just
being
like-
safe? Were you being like was your range really big?
Well, no, it was just high. It started high and kept going up.
Oh, well, okay.
But the bottom line is that like I was taking into account that it needed everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. Better to tell someone that something's going to cost $20,000 and give them a bill for 10.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? 20,000?
I said it's going to be 18 to 20.
Okay. Well, that sounds like what I would
But
think
that's
it would be.
for a top end. That's a lot of money, but that includes a $3,500, $4,000 set of pistons. I
Yeah.
didn't know that he didn't need pistons and cylinders, but he didn't need
Right,
pistons
and he wouldn't pay for it come the time when it's done. But what I'm quoting you right now is, if it needs everything, it
If I
could be this
told
much.
you, if you give me a motor and I tell you it's going to be 12 grand, then I give you a bill for 18.
Yeah, who's
you're
pissed
gonna
off?
murder me.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I tell you it's 18, and I give you a bill for 12.
Yeah, I'll go one
I'm a
further. I'm
hero.
not even on the hook for it.
But I'm a hero,
Yeah.
and it's at least you were prepared for it, and now you got change in your pocket. Mm-hmm. So or you've
Again, though, this is your methodology. This is
Yeah.
what works for you. Your customers are very happy with it because we had a conversation just before this about a customer who, you know what I mean? There was a lot of zeros on
Yeah.
there. And you've helped us out the same way where like if
zeros as in not being charged, not zeros as in commas and zeros.
No,
Right.
no,
Yeah,
you're
let's
right.
be clear about that.
Thank you
Very
for doing
clear.
that. My point is you always go above and beyond, and there always will be a little bit of extra. So that's one of the reasons that we and people like us come to you, knowing that that's built in. So we don't even need to think about it. We don't need to bottom line it at the end. Is this your best price, etc. Like people do.
Right.
People
Well,
do.
but Matt-
Everybody needs to.
see-
You know what I mean? We all do it.
The thing about it is Matt didn't even say, peep one about the invoice.
This is the other people.
This is the people who watch. And look,
The customer is not unhappy.
No, he's not. But I also haven't handed him a bill yet either. But I have handed him great news. You don't need pistons and cylinders.
So that number I quoted you will already be less.
Right. However, like I was saying, if you budget for X amount of dollars and it turns out that you don't need to replace these parts, but you still have that money earmarked for the vehicle, well, maybe you want to spend it elsewhere. So now it opens up this whole plethora of other things you can do. So do we rebuild the bottom end at the same time? Now that
we're in there anyway.
It's going to be a nominal amount of money comparatively, right? But the back end is going to have a substantial gain.
It seems to me like good communication. As long as you're saying as long as you're saying. Here's the thing. There's
I
not
thought
a
you meant my vocabulary because of that conversation.
No, it seems to me that this seems to me like good operational procedure. This seems to me like above board business, and maybe the fact of the matter is that that's not just expected these days. Maybe it's like a bonus when you get that, and that to me is almost that's what we should be focusing on.
I
not
think
the
that's
individuals.
the focus. What I noticed in my part of the business that was separate but similar is that there's a turnover of the marketplace. You're getting a different kind of person that's looking at what you're saying about the price or the fix or the whatever. And as long as you can explain to that person in their language what you're doing, as long as that can be clear and the price is fair, you're one of the high-end people. So you deserve to charge what you charge. You're also including top-end parts. It's not just labor.
Right.
But you've been around forever, and I think that can be added into the safety net of it. I know I feel so much safer when he says, I'm going to go see Marco and ask about this, because I trust him implicitly, but that's why I think it helps me to understand his comfort level with you. And I think when you can get to those people, that's where that's at.
I can already see you getting uncomfortable by some of the stuff she's saying, but I agree that this is almost an angle that you should be pushing also.
Well, I appreciate that.
You are also a little bit of a higher echelon than just going to a Joe Schmo.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say there's always going to be somebody cheaper. Even if you're $5, there's someone who'll do it for $2.50.
That's worth being said. I'm glad you pointed that out too.
So I'm never going to chase the bottom dollar. I'm just not that guy. That's not the business we run. Right. That's what I never understood. Just a really little side thing. When the government bids a job, right? They go to the lowest price.
Yeah, because they just want to pay the lowest amount.
Yeah, but then you get the lowest quality.
I don't care.
Stop it. Just fucking stop it. Spend the money that'll get the job done. Not the cheapest, but the best. Right? Someone will do the best job for you, not the cheapest job. If you're grinding me for every dollar, or you're grinding the plumber for every dollar,
it has nothing to do with you.
The plumber isn't going to ream that drain as long as he would if you just pay him what he wants. I'm not going to want to go the extra mile if you're going to try to bottom dollar me every time.
Right.
So, when I and most other people give a price, it probably includes everything you could possibly want, their living wage. They take into account the fact that you have to live as well, and that's the fairest number where everyone can survive.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that thing.
Man, I'm glad you're close for the holidays. You need a vacation.
I do need a vacation.
I'm excited for you to have a break.
Yeah, and again, I don't begrudge people for saying that. Oh, I can do it for $10,000. I could do it for $3,000.
Sure,
go for it.
Yeah.
Go.
It all
nuts.
comes down to what you want, where you're comfortable. Whatever,
but the bottom line is, if you can do it for cheaper, that's great. I don't know if you can offer the level of service that I'm going to offer. I don't know if you're going to have the wherewithal to stand behind your $2,000 top end rebuild. If something goes wrong, if the car farts, then I've got it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it because you've given me what I've asked for.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to go the extra mile. Also, for many years, really, for many years,
I'll tell you something else.
My mentors have always the guys that I really look up to. They operate under the premise of under promise and over deliver.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good sensibility there.
Good businessmanship.
Yeah. Just tell people the truth and then give them more than they're expecting. Do a better job than they were expecting.
Oh, you're better than a lot of people. Whatever.
Take pride in what you do.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
wow. No, I'm so happy for you.
Fuck
I'm
the
so
trolls.
happy for you. I'm just trying to think. I almost want to have you back on like on January 2nd to see what you're like.
I see a Hawaiian shirt and a tan, and like edibles like out the wazoo. Here's a plate.
I'm all over it. I'm all over it. I don't have to work tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
Your gleaming watch brings
I'm
me.
sorry.
No, it's beautiful. It's a very interesting segue. That's very neat because you've been doing. I've seen you a lot on the interwebs talking about watch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the story on the show once here about was it the landlord?
Yes.
I know that this is actually is it Crown and Caliber story?
Crown and Caliber did a watch story. That's correct.
I should just let you take it from here. Tell us about anything or everything to do with this watch thing.
Well, I mean, everyone needs a hobby. Growing up, before I was working at the shop, like my hobby was Porsches, right? So great. Then I started doing it every day, and it's like I don't need to do this on my time off. I enjoy racing cars. I enjoy working on tinkering and but like I don't want to work hard.
You need something to remove you.
Sometimes you just got to walk away. And watches are a nice sort of departure. There's a little bit of crossover in the mechanical aspect of it. Definitely a lot of crossover in the emotional aspect of it. The luxury item part of it is
that doesn't strike me as you.
No. But the older stuff, the old Rolex or the old Omega, those are very cool because they're luxury brands.
But you're not appreciating the luxury element of it. You're appreciating the fucking coolness, antique factor of it.
Yeah, the vintage cool part of it.
The fact that they all happen to be so expensive and worthy is
like the early 911s, you know, like I just love them because they're great cars. The fact that they're worth 80, 90, 100 grand doesn't mean anything because I remember when they were $10,000 and $6,000, you know, like so. Anyway, the watch thing, I've really, it's been a good escape for me.
So, but it started with, and this is what I watched was the Crown and Caliber story of how you got into watches, right? Was that how you first got into it?
Sort of. I got into watches just because I was a kid that liked mechanical
things.
Shit. Yeah. So like I would go to Target and just like look at the
and the displays where you could see them working and everything.
Yeah, that. But also like just Casio calculator watches were the shit, and they still are the shit. By the way,
I agree.
So but I couldn't afford a $30 calculator watch, so I could afford a $20 Iron Man, you know, like a Timex.
Yep.
And so like that was my first real forte forte into watches or whatever. As I got older, one day I decided I was going to spend some money, and I bought something online. I bought a Porsche design watch because Porsche.
Sure.
Because watch.
Checks both boxes.
Yeah, it checks all the boxes. Well, turns out I bought something really chill, like something that I basically punched above my weight. I stumbled into something cool, and I was like, wow, I could spend $3,000, which is a ton of money, but I could get something like super cool, and oh my gosh, it's now worth double.
Oh, really? Is that how those things work?
Yeah,
they're collectible.
Sort of. I mean, not that one particularly, but that watch I sold it for slightly more than I purchased it for.
That's amazing.
And I sold it to a really good friend of mine who has been looking for that particular watch since his dad lost it in the 80s. So it's like
interesting.
It's neat.
So it's kind of like it fulfills these kind of like needs.
Yeah.
But it's also still fun. And the Crown and Caliber thing, like
playing with time.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, right.
No, it is. It really is.
The Crown and Caliber thing was just really nice to be highlighted for something I like to do that's not car related.
How did that all come about?
How did it come about? I think it was Ted Gushue mentioned to them that, or it was either Ted or Matt. I don't remember which one of those two guys, Matt Farah or Ted Gushue. I don't know which one said, "Hey, give Marco a call."
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it might have
because
been,
they knew you were in. You know them, and they knew you were in.
Yeah,
watches.
like I had come across Matt and Cameron Weiss at a Cars and Coffee event, and that's where we met, and I got to know them, and we got to talking, and then, I did Matt's one take with my cars, and I got to know him a little bit better.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And so when the watch thing came up, he and I were talking about watches on the one take thing, and so when I guess the Crown and Caliber thing that came up, I think it was him that said call Marco also.
Cool.
Yeah, and
that's neat.
I mean,
it was shot so well, and it's so emotional. I really liked it.
They did a really good job. I was totally like, I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Really?
Yeah, I totally thought I'd be an idiot. And
it's a shame that you even had that for a second.
They edited me very well. No, it was very well edited.
He's so hard on himself.
Everyone
you're
is
your worst critic.
self-deprecating. Like, enough.
No,
80s
that's
comedy constructs, like, enough.
It's not comedy. It's like real.
It's how we learn how to
She said you
train
need comedy
thoughts.
constructs.
Oh, I need.
That's what she said.
okay.
Yeah, I speak Nicole.
I said it was an 80s comedy construct, which is self-deprecation.
I missed all of the other part of what you said because I just heard.
Apparently, I only had half of it too. I'm sorry.
Apparently, I'm the common denominator. But self-deprecation's out, man. You're so much better than anything you ever say. So that's all I mean.
I just wish I could have that. Self-deprecation is out, man.
It is.
It's just not a thing
It's an
anymore.
80s
I'll say it
comedy
to you all the
construct.
time.
That's what she said.
I'll talk about it a lot.
I love coming to TLG. I do. I don't know why. It has nothing to do with. I like
nothing
seeing
to do with
you.
you, man.
I was going to say that in the weirdest way. The place has its own energy, and it probably did before you were running it. No offense.
There's
and
a
that
lot
to
of
me
history in
is
that
so
building, man.
cool. As much as I'm friends with you, it almost makes me bond with you more because it's like, oh, you didn't do it. It was your dad's thing, and that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, I didn't do any of this. It's my dad's thing.
I appreciate that. I do. That building has a lot of history before me.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean,
Before TLG?
No,
Oh.
TLG. My father.
Well, your dad made that building almost.
My dad took the building and then subdivided it and then filled it with tenants. But the thing is, the tenants he filled it with, it's like, holy shit, man. Like, there's just so, like, most of the Le Mans winning race cars of the 60s have been through those walls.
Wow.
You know, like,
that's amazing.
Extremely, extremely historic, 60s and early 70s.
Through what in
like
what way?
spiders.
What were the other? No, but what were the other places that that was happening?
In my storage area, it used to be another shop, and it was a 4-cam shop.
Oh.
And so they did all the 4-cam 356s and race cars.
Wow.
550s, RSKs, RS60s, RS61s, 904s, 946s,
wow.
A-Barth Carreras. And my dad, the guy who ran the place or who owned the place had Parkinson's. And his Parkinson's got really bad, and eventually my dad would go and be his hands.
Wow.
The guy would tell my dad what to do, and my dad would do the work. And so my dad got a lot of instruction on
holy smokes
4-cam stuff. And then, when I was
literally hands-on instruction.
Absolutely.
I mean, that you cannot. People would pay for an education like that.
Yeah. But the thing is, it was before the cars were millions of dollars. They were hundreds of thousands, but not millions. And so, like, the value of those cars then would be like the value of, how do I explain this? Like a 2 or 3 year old Cup car today.
Oh, okay.
So a few $100,000, right? With spares and whatever. So like those cars were
and available,
and you could buy them if you just looked in the right spot. I could tell you all kinds of stories about cars bought and sold and missed and found and whatever.
I'm sure.
It was really cool. And then that gentleman with the Parkinson's, Al Kadrobi was his name. They left, right? And they closed the business, and he went to his own house and opened a small workshop in the back. And so after I graduated high school, I went and interned with him for the summer at his shop. And we went to the 98 Historics in Monterey, and that happened to be Porsche's anniversary year. And so all the cars came from Germany. And so
you must have been just
had
whoa.
so many cars. It was like 2 weeks of just absolutely bananas vehicles.
Flooded.
I got to work on some really cool shit that year.
That's amazing.
Really cool stuff and meet really cool people, and that was a turning point for me.
And you were at an age enough where those memories are they're
fresh.
locked.
Yeah. Oh, they're fresh.
They're locked in.
I turned 18, Porsche won Le Mans, the 50th anniversary of Porsche, Monterey Historics.
It's
graduated high school.
No big
let's
deal.
pile more onto this cake.
It's more. It's my this. It's everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's at that time when everything's coming together, and you're also figuring out who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Like it's all just kind of happening.
Yeah.
You
don't realize it's happening, but it's looking back. That was all happening at the same time.
Huge.
Yeah.
For me, I still see pictures of some of these cars. There's one in particular. It was a 550 Spider with a huge wing on the top that was owned by a guy named Michael May. He was the guy who put the wing on the top, and the wing was operated by a handle that looked like a brake handle in the middle, and so you could literally tip the wing up and down for aerodynamics. The car ran in one race and was immediately outlawed.
Yeah. It's
but I got to work on that son of a bitch.
It's the DRS or whatever they call it from the Formula One these days. You know, the flap.
Or you know the Jim Hall vacuum car.
What's that? Oh yeah, that's right. And then you could open or close the thing.
No, it had a 2-stroke motor that created a vacuum under the car and sucked the car to the ground.
Whoa.
The problem is that car, the exhaust the vacuums would pick up all the rocks on the track and throw them out the back at the competitors.
Oh my god.
So that car was like
outlawed.
But it was
sounds
it
like
was
a
at
cartoon.
A time. Yeah, but it was at a time.
But it's the opposite of a hovercraft.
Forward
like
thinking,
sucking.
right? But it's forward thinking racing, like when shit was really like innovative and cool.
Like the 6-wheel Formula One car for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird stuff that.
I mean,
you had to try it. Somebody had to try it.
The theories, it didn't say you couldn't do it, so let's try it. You know.
You know what, like a Indy car, look at Formula One. You know, with the wings on the front and the back and the center cockpit. So there was one that ran for a few years actually that had 4 wheels in the front. Like instead of 2 big wheels, it had 4 small wheels that all turned.
I vaguely remember
it's the weirdest
that.
looking thing
I'm
ever.
thinking
So
it looked
bizarre
very
looking.
weird.
The Tyrrell.
Weird.
Is that its name?
That was the name of the car. It was a Tyrrell.
All right.
That was the manufacturer.
I got it.
Yeah.
Your words worked. Good job. The manufacturer.
She just dunked on me on that one. You're just like,
yo, man.
So anyway,
I'm excited to see your dad's car on the road. What's going on with your racing motor?
I mean,
I know you haven't had time. I'm just saying, like now
what's going on?
Is there any more thought put into it, or are we still at the same
I
place?
finally asked a question to someone who knows more than me.
Okay.
And I got the answer I expected to get.
Oh, one that
no,
you
no,
wanted
no,
or
no.
didn't want.
It was. So here's the thing, right? Like I had never, to this day, I had never done mechanical injected slide valve fuel injection. I've done high butterfly. I've done low butterfly. I've done all kinds of weird like modified this and that. Whatever.
K-Jetronic.
Yeah, but I'd never done slide valves.
That's what the DeLorean had.
Yeah, that's what CIS cars are.
Is it?
Yeah, it's K-Jetronic. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I was making a joke. I didn't know that.
That's okay. The Bosch.
So a 73.5 is a
CIS.
That's so funny. That's what was here yesterday. Matt Abrams.
Got it.
So the slide valve stuff, I had never set it up before. I mean, I had a theory. I had an idea. Like, I was having a problem with the throttle plates being open or closed. It's just kind of initial setup.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to back time this, and I'm going to think of it from wide open throttle because that's where they're supposed to work their best, right? Is at wide open throttle. So I decided that I was
broadcasting background coming in there, back time it.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking that I would start with instead of starting from an idle position where you tend to start the other cars, like the street cars, you start them from an idle position and work out from there to wide open throttle.
You're going to peak it and back it.
I'm going to go from wide open throttle and work back to start to idle because who gives a shit if my race car idles?
Reverse engineer it.
But a race car doesn't need to fucking idle.
Right.
It needs to run from 4,500 or 5,000 to 8,000 RPM.
But that's standard tuning, right?
Well,
but that you would tune to your sweet spot up there. I mean, that's why when you fire these things up,
yeah, exactly.
Sound like a fucking boat.
They got radical cams, and the thing doesn't have to idle; it just has to run.
Right.
And so I was having second thoughts, and I needed to be kind of like justified or told I was totally wrong, and I got justified. Like the guy said, "No, that's what I would do." And I'm like, "Yes."
Oh.
And it's a guy that I have. I'm young. I look at a lot of older people.
You're younger than me.
Okay.
You're young.
Well, I especially to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, right? Like most of the guys I know are 50, 60, 70 something years old, right? I'm the kid.
Yeah.
Always been the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn to those who know more than me when faced with questions or faced with self-doubt. And so, these guys have seen that I'm worth talking to and they're willing to share their knowledge. And so I greatly appreciate that.
Good job, Marco.
So you asked somebody and
he validated me. He said that the way I was thinking about it was correct to continue with what I was doing.
So it's like the check is done. That's one step off of the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, the next time you think about it, you're one step closer.
So next time I think about it, I can actually finish it.
Oh, it's that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So basically, you know what your game plan is now, and you locked it in.
Yep.
Oh, very cool.
It might be done before the new year, because I got a vacation.
Wow.
This all of a sudden is the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, I have a vacation, and
for your sake.
For me, it's my time out here.
You sound like the
I'm taking
Goonies.
it back.
I just Goonied it. I just
taking
Goonied
it back.
Yeah,
I'm taking them all
Sounded
back.
like Goonies.
I did it. I was watching with my kid the other day. I introduced him to Goonies.
So,
3.5-year-old.
probably doesn't get it quite yet, but
But it's pirates.
oh yeah, that's true.
It's pirates. He loves
Yeah.
pirates. He was talking about
Skeletons and pirates.
Yeah.
Hidden treasure.
It's one of the best
Booby traps.
effing movies ever, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's our generation and everything, but isn't it just one of the greatest movies ever?
It
Ever.
clicks all the boxes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Back to the Future
There's
for
a
me,
car
for sure.
chase.
Everything.
With an RV.
You get the police and the off-road chase and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Would you believe that Chunk from that movie is our attorney?
He's your attorney? You're shitting me.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's still
now he's a big popular Hollywood attorney.
I had no
entertainment
idea
lawyer.
that he had become a lawyer.
So
and a
skinny.
very
I knew
well-
he was going to do
like,
something.
A
but
very
like,
well accomplished one. I mean, he runs a
that's
very big firm.
amazing. You tell him I said hello. He'll have no idea who the fuck I am.
He loves
That's
it.
awesome.
No, that's yeah. So I just going to use my time wisely and hopefully finish
I
my
love
race
it.
car because I have 3 projects that need to be done for myself.
Oh, well, I know that once this gets done, then you're going to rebuild the white 911.
That's right. I'm going
Right.
to rebuild the motor in the white car.
Okay.
And I may, while I'm rebuilding the motor in the white car, fix the door, put the fog lights on it. Like
The white car was technically your mom's car, is that right?
Yeah.
Was that the one that was originally?
My dad needed an excuse to build it, so he said it was for her, and then she claimed it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
That's how it works.
and then
put it out there.
And then eventually, she got the Pathfinder, and he took that car and he drove it and eventually parked it when his another 911 was done. And
Is
then
that how that worked? So he did sort of take it back.
Yeah. But I mean, my mom. So when he built it for her, he initially built it for himself. And he put a turbo motor in it, like it is now. And
But it was that and the 914 together, right? Wasn't that right,
so,
or about the
yeah,
same
the
time?
914 was mine.
Right.
That I was building for me, and the reason it was white is because there was leftover paint from my dad's project, so I painted my car the same color.
But they even have like the black wheel, the whole thing. It's just
Yeah.
kind of all, you know,
Well, you
they
build
look
your car
like
spare
they're
parts. That's,
siblings.
they were very much sister cars, yeah. And build them out of spare parts, so that's what you have, is what you put on, you know.
So the motor on that one will get redone finally.
Correct. Yeah, the white car it's going to get a lot. I'm going to change a lot, I think.
Well, you've been thinking about that for a while too, about which way to go on that.
I have. I think I'm ready to make
Where are
the
you
plunge.
leaning?
Well,
Are you going to add the intercooler or no?
Oh, absolutely.
You are,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm absolutely going to add an intercooler. I'm absolutely going to run the second set of plugs because it's a twin plug motor that I'm only running one set
Oh,
of
right.
plugs.
Yeah, you said that, which is silly, right? Silly waste?
Well, I thought I would be able to fit the distributor, but because of the boost pipe, I couldn't. So, yes, it's wasteful.
Okay.
But the machine work is done, so it'll save me, some money, but not really because I have to take the whole motor apart again anyway. I'm going to leave the bottom end together because it's got a really good bottom end. But I'm going to change the cams. I'm thinking about changing the pistons and cylinders. I'm going to run the twin plug, run an intercooler.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's going to be nuts.
Yes, and I'm not sure. I'm still 50-50 on electronic fuel injection. I haven't decided if I want to really
Whoa.
step up and spend that kind of money.
Wow.
Well, also, that's just a radical change.
Big
dude.
It
change.
is significant because if I do that,
It's just it's a different car. It's a different brain, literally, right?
yeah, the whole point of that car was to be kind of vintage, but it also
Convenience is nice too, though.
I want mileage, man. I'm sick
Yeah.
of 9 miles to the gallon. It's foolish.
Yeah.
It's foolish. And if I could get 15, I'm
All of a sudden it's great.
so happy. The car can be like taken on a road trip without having to stop like all the time.
Well, so much of that shit is unburnt fuel coming out the back because I've been behind you.
Yeah.
And when you get on it, it's just like,
Yeah, but it goes like hell though.
yeah, I know it's gone, but we're over there choking.
That would be a game changer.
F you.
Definitely different.
Get in front of me.
That's right. You can pass me anytime you want.
I'm
But
excited
yeah,
for you to come to Breakfast Club tomorrow.
Yeah.
You've been up before, but it's probably been a long time.
It has been a long time, and I took an Audi
Oh, that's right.
because I had to get to work.
Oops.
So I
That's
was like,
exactly right.
I'm going to hammer up this hill and then hammer straight to work.
That's exactly right. I forgot about that. Well, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
What else is
Yeah.
coming up? I'm trying to think. I mean, we've got all sorts of... George is on his trip. Mutual friend George is
I
on
think
his
Steve's
trip.
coming.
Steve's going to come to Breakfast
I
Club?
think he is. I'm going to talk to him again when I
Oh,
leave.
good.
I'm so glad. I thought he might be here today, too, so we've been billboarding it. 'Cause I wasn't sure. I wanted him to know that he was welcome to because he had mentioned it before.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I don't care.
He's got a new
we love
baby,
him.
so like, get home and be helpful is like the key to being a new dad.
We mentioned that on the show, too, so it'll be nice to see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
See him out, not at your shop and not home with the baby.
I like that
Right.
guy. It'll be
He's
nice to
awesome.
see him socially, yeah.
I like that you seem to be making an effort on the social to kind of introduce is the wrong word, but maybe ingratiate all of your people into like.
It feels very supportive.
You're introducing people. You're doing like, hey, this is Steve, and here's his story.
Well,
He's not just a mechanic.
I don't do this shit alone.
I know that, but I'm saying it's very nice. We like it. Tell us about what made you decide to do that.
Integrity. I mean,
Good answer. Good answer.
Look, this is TLG may have been started by my dad, and he may have worked alone for many years, right? And then when I came to work with him, it was Marco and Tony. Or actually, it was Tony and Marco. Then it was Marco and Tony, and then it was Marco, Tony, and Steve. And we brought Steve in, and my dad's gone, and then it was I don't do this alone. I couldn't do TLG today like my dad did TLG in 1987. They're different businesses, right? Very different businesses. The mentality is different. The cars are different. The landscape of being an independent business owner is different. And so,
in general,
yeah,
let
that's what I'm saying. Like just
Angeles.
across the board, right?
No, I'm thinking about it as you say it. You're right.
Yeah, and so Steve is, he's like a pillar of that place. Of course, I could figure out how to do it without him. But God forbid I ever have to. Like I would never want to.
Yeah.
But
there have been times I've come in and you haven't been there, and I've dealt with Steve, and I feel just as comfortable.
I would hope so.
Yeah. That's your goal, I'm sure.
He is. Yeah, absolutely.
It feels like you've made a nice community, and you're showing support for it.
I learned that from watching others that I admire.
Yeah.
Right. And so
giving credit.
Not only giving credit, but making it so that the people that you work with are empowered to do a great job.
Absolutely.
I want them to feel like they have a stake in this business.
Makes a big difference.
Good for you. Good for you.
They don't have to worry about the bills every month, but they are responsible for what comes out of our doors. So the reputation of my business is their responsibility, and I want them to know that there is a direct correlation between how they feel at work and how they do the work and how the work is perceived by others and
then received by the customer.
And received by everybody. Like, it's all very important. And, if you feel empowered in your position, you're more apt to take ownership of that position and do the best you can possibly do.
100%.
And I want to be able to reward my guys for great work. I really, really do. I want to share it all. Spoils of war, right? Like, everybody gets a piece. I learned a long time ago I'm never going to get rich doing this. But if I can take a vacation for 2 weeks during the holidays, shit, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? And we all of us made this possible. So
that was the thing. You've been planning this for a little bit, and once you figured out how the dates could work and everything, you sort of back-timed it almost and worked it all out. This is not like a whim and it's noon, so we're closed. You made sure everybody was out. You planned this weeks ahead.
Yeah. So
like the shop's empty. It's not just sitting there with cars.
Right. Everybody who needed to everyone that could pick up a car's gone.
Yep.
Every bill that could get settled. Got settled.
Smart business, and you get a break.
People to know that it's not just like, we shut the doors.
We're not doing work for 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
It's like everything's
No.
empty and done. And
Steve and I so my dad and I were supposed to take a trip to Europe before he died. Right? Actually, my mom and dad. The long story short is, I earned a trip for 2 to Europe by spending a certain amount of dollars with my supplier.
Oh, sure.
Right. It wasn't like they gave it to me to buy. I had to spend X amount of dollars over the course of a year with them, and if I hit that mark, their reward to me for doing so was a trip for 2 to Europe for a cruise in the North Sea. Fantastic. Well, my mother and my father were going to take that trip through the hard work of TLG, right? Well, my dad passed away, and my mom obviously didn't want to go, so she's like, you just go. Or no, excuse me. My dad was having treatment, and his treatment was going to overlap the trip. So it was decided that I would go. So I asked my wife, she couldn't go. So I asked Steve, and he could go. So Steve and I planned this.
Buddied up.
Yeah. Well, I've known the guy 20-something years. Like, we're buddies in high school. Of course we're going to drink together, right?
Sure.
So we planned the trip, and then my dad passed away, and all the things happened, and we're still going on this trip, right?
Yeah.
We need to get away. But in order for us to take that 1 week or 10-day trip, we had to have every bill paid before we left, with significant amounts of money in the bank to let every check that's written clear.
Right.
Every bill come through got paid.
Yeah.
You know, and you come
it's
back.
a delicate system.
So you don't have to think about that shit while
Right.
you're on vacation. So you work towards that for like 2-3 months, so you can take it. So anyway, looking at the calendar for this month, it looked all my bills hit in the first half of the month. So the second half of the month was pretty much free and clear anyway. So that's why we were able to take this time off. So
Good for you.
yeah.
I'm just so happy for you that you're doing it. I can hear, I can feel like this is the crazy rush of energy and before you're going to be like, because this is probably the last thing you have to do, right? Like you did the shop, you literally got your hair cut.
I hope I'm not rushing you guys. Like I don't want you to feel like rushed. That's not the idea.
We've been going an hour and a half already. Don't worry about it.
Are you shitting me?
Well, it's an hour with you because we were chatty first, but don't worry about it. People love what you have to say.
To be continued. ...
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it. I'm so happy. What I was trying to say was this feels like the last mad rush of like, you know, you've been cramming, and it's almost over, and you're about to crash. This seems like that's what we're at that stage with you right now. The curve, just about.
Yeah. It's the last period of school before the buses come before the holiday break.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
That's right. We did that for Thanksgiving.
This is the last thing on
my
my calendar, and then the rest of the trip is. For the rest of my calendar is fairly free.
Good.
What fun stuff are you going to do with the family over the break?
We're going to go to see the zoo lights.
Cool.
At the LA Zoo.
Very nice.
We did that last
in Griffith
year.
Park, right?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah, we did that last year. My kid loves the lights. I don't think he gives a shit about the animals at night.
Oh, really?
Well, there's really no
animals. A lot of them are
out.
sleeping
under. Gosh, yeah, that makes
And he doesn't
sense.
like the reptile area.
Yeah, no.
But who knows? Maybe it'll be different this year. Last year was 2. This year is 3.
He's seen Goonies now, so it's a little, you know what I mean? Now,
Right.
no, because the zoo is all the caves and all that kind of cool stuff.
He loves the zoo. I mean, like in the daytime, he is all about the zoo.
Yeah, but at nighttime, it's like Goonies.
Yeah. So
they put on good lights there.
They do. Yeah, they do. Like they string up all these crazy lights. I mean, it's beautiful.
Okay.
You should try
I
to
love
go.
Christmas lights, so I'm excited to know a new place.
That and Floyd's, we could add it to the list.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're on my list, but
Just
like
do them on the way. Like, do you go to get a haircut and then go to the zoo lights?
It means I have to go at night. Stop planning my life.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we wanted to talk about. Oh, Yellow Car.
Okay.
No, I told everybody on the show about how I was bringing it into you because I was like, there's something going on, and how I was talking about. Really, it was about our appreciation for you and you guys you and Steve both doing your due diligence and checking every single thing over and over because I'm telling you there's something, and you're like, I'm telling you there's not.
No,
because there wasn't what I was feeling anywhere. And
I want to be clear. When you say that I was saying there isn't, that's not what I was saying. I was saying I don't see anything damaged or broken that could lead you to
He's
feel
worried
what
about
you're
the
feeling.
internet comments now. He's worried about the internet comments.
I want people to understand that like the
point,
hardest part of my job is translating what's in your head. Right? That's the hardest part of my job, to understand what you're trying to tell me is wrong. I believe you. I may also believe that you're crazy, but I give you the benefit of the doubt that you drive your car.
You're taking too much responsibility on what I just said.
No, this is important stuff. Like really, like
no, but you, Marco, are taking on too much responsibility from what I said. If I said it improperly, I will definitely rephrase it.
But I have to. It's my job to believe you. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, but we couldn't find it. At the end of the day, we couldn't find it.
It's not real. That's the thing.
But you're undoing the credit I'm trying to give you. Shut up for a second. I'm trying to say you went and looked at everything. You put the car on the rack again. You went and you pried at every piece of
space. Every single thing.
You walked around for an hour with me again while I said, what about this? Could it be this? I don't know. I don't think so, but let's check. Oh, all right, let's go around. Nope, it's not that. All right, everything that it could possibly be. And then you said, look, everything you're describing, we checked all that stuff out. If I were you, I would get an alignment because that's really the only other thing it could be, unless we start just throwing money at this. And I wouldn't do that if I were you because there isn't actually a problem in the physical stuff. I went 5 minutes later to an alignment shop, and an hour and a half later, the car was perfect. So my point is, you doing your due diligence, you could have started replacing shit. You could have, there's a lot of different ways that could have gone, but what you did do is you took the time and you had the bedside manner to go through, do those translations that you do, be like, look, there's nothing else I can do because the car is intact. I'm doing my job. I'm keeping your car on the road. I don't do alignments. That's not your job. Also, you asked me 26 times, are you sure you didn't hit something? Are you sure that you didn't nudge something? Because I think you always had a suspicion that perhaps it could be something outside of your abilities to fix. Anyway, it was. The car's awesome. It'll be at Breakfast Club tomorrow.
Great.
Holds a line now. Everything's great.
That's a win.
This is just a kudos to you, though, because this speaks to your methodology of like believing the customer knows something's up. They don't have to necessarily know what it is, but it's very medical to me. It's very psychological to me. It's very respectful to me of how you are with your customers, and you clearly show that to your staff, and that's.
I appreciate that.
Keep taking the credit for one more second. I even mentioned to them on the air that your approach was perhaps maybe atypical in that once all of those fucking nuts and bolts were checked and it wasn't any of that stuff, you actually even checked in with me. You're like, so what's going on, man? Tell me what's going on that you're losing confidence in the car. It was almost like a little intervention of like, so tell me what's going on with you, Jabe, that you all of a sudden don't have confidence in your partner in crime, the yellow car over here, because you do. You're normally completely, together. You took that approach with me, and I came home and told her about it because it made it, and I told everyone about it on the show because I was so tickled by it. I'm not saying everyone needs to do that or that you're so amazing. I just want you to know how loved you are by the people that love you, which is a lot of us.
Thank you very much.
A lot of us.
Thank you very much. I don't take compliments very well.
No, you don't.
We know.
But like also, I'm also.
And that's all we have time for.
I try to be pragmatic. I try to be like very like. Well, that's just kind of how you have to be.
You are,
to
but
do
you have
these
a
things,
nice
right?
heart.
You
also.
are, but you should take some credit and know that not everyone's like that. People have to do that. You say that with me, and other people say with me too. Like I'm just like, yeah, but isn't everybody like that?
No.
The answer is no. We would like that to be. We're idealists, and we're trying to make the world better.
Yeah.
But no, it isn't just automatically. Okay. We're doing it.
So what else is on your list? I see you got a little.
Nothing. George P. That was it.
Oh, man.
We'll
Just
see him when he's back.
through.
We love him.
Just passing through. That guy's living the life. Let me tell you.
How long is he gone?
Forever.
Another.
It was September 1st that he left, and it was had the potential to be a year-long trip, but I think it was at least 6 months. So that's at least March.
He's going down to
Love that guy.
The Tip.
Yeah, what is that? What's the name of that place?
South Africa
No. South
From
America.
Here? Bicycle ride? A motorbike ride?
It's South America.
South America.
It's like there's a Montevideo, I think it is.
Oh, where his actual final destination? I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
All the way down to the bottom someplace.
Montevideo, yeah.
Is that what
down,
it is?
I like down to the tip where there's no mountains and it's really windy and cold because there's no mountains.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and you're far enough away from you're coming back.
Yeah, that's what I know people that have done that ride. I think it's like Patagonia or something like that.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah. Cold.
Yeah. It's
like the Top Gear guys went there. It was the whole thing.
Yes, that's kind of where I think he's going. I'm not really good at geography, so that could very well be Arctic Circle, but I don't think so.
No, that one's...
I think that's farther down.
Antarctic.
That's Antarctic. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean,
did we cover everything?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I
mean, there's so many things we could talk cars forever.
Yeah, I don't want to bore Nicole though, right?
Not bored.
I don't know.
It's the big holiday. You know what I mean? Like we can wrap it
holiday
up. Holiday
extravaganza.
So really quick, I was watching your little video that you guys did with the throwback video.
Oh, from the Professor run.
Well, it's funny because I didn't realize it was a throwback. Like because you guys were in Malibu and it was raining. Well, the other day it was raining. And,
oh shit!
And I was like, oh, what did I miss? And then I realized that it was
beautiful and floral and all the homes are there.
Shit, man! Look at all that, you know.
Yeah, that was another reason I played that one. But we had that conversation too in the dark while it was playing. Of like, man, none of that's there anymore. That's Latigo. We were saying the different places.
Have you been back since?
Yeah.
I haven't been back yet. It's been really hard for me because I don't have the time. You know, like not emotionally difficult because I got nothing really emotionally invested in it.
Already the topography is coming back, and I haven't even been there since the rain, so I'm sure it's even more so, like the greenery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But man, the loss and what you can feel from the people all pulling together, like it's a sweet sour thing, like all of these always are. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a shitty sucky thing to drive. A Canaan is
wiped, huh?
Yeah, the closer to Mulholland, the closer to PCH on Canaan, the closer you get, it's just more and more desolate.
I know some people that were off of, Cornell, and I don't think they have a house anymore. I haven't heard from them.
The old place, amazingly, is still standing, and I don't know how.
Can't believe that.
The bridge in front of it melted.
Picture.
Yeah, but the old place, how long has it been there? 600 years or something like that? So, like, I'm not surprised that it's still standing. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves.
Me neither, but isn't it a tinderbox for the same reason?
You can't kill it, man. It's like
I
a cockroach.
guess.
It's the cockroach of the mountains. You
I
know?
guess.
It'll survive nuclear warfare.
Oh.
But no, really serious. Like in a serious manner, I always was like trying to find kind of the upside. to
Silver
this whole
lining?
fire thing, the silver lining. And I think I hit on it real quick when I saw a picture of the snake. You know,
Yeah.
you can see through all the corners now.
Oh, look at you.
Like that's great for people who want to like, feel like a race car driver. It's like it's visibility, right? So now you can
Everyone's
see
going to
through all
cross the
corners.
line now. Great.
No, I hope not. I hope not. People.
We don't even
that
drive
just
over
means
there
that
anymore.
The cop can see you better from the top. So let's not.
That's
do
a good
anything
note.
stupid.
I can't even imagine exercise like stretching it out on the snake anymore. Like we used to in the old days, you
Oh, yeah.
hang it out in the whole bit. Nowadays,
anymore.
between the people, the bikes, the cops, all of the things, it's not.
It's not the same.
It wouldn't be safe. It wouldn't be enjoyable. None of the things that I used to would have gotten out of it.
In 1998, I came back from college for my first year of college, and I had a camera. Right, I was really stoked about my camera, and so I went to Mulholland and up before it was called the Snake. It was Big Rock or
Yeah,
whatever.
Rock Store, all
Rock
the
Store,
stuff. Yeah.
Big Rock, whatever they call it.
The Lookout.
And I parked in the dirt, and I spent every day there. 'Cause I was on vacation, and I was taking pictures.
Oh, like the Rock Store photo guy.
In 1996, or
Right.
excuse me, 1998, I was doing that. And I go back and I can revisit these photos, and it's
Oh,
like,
you still have them all.
I still got them all. They were all on 35 millimeter.
That's
wow.
cool
So
as
you have
shit.
prints of them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
And I still have the negatives too.
Super cool.
And I have slide
Go
film.
get all of the negatives
I
digitized.
Yeah.
thought about it.
Why not at
You
least get
need
them
to.
digitized?
Because they're not all good. Some of them are really
So,
shitty.
So
what? It
what?
costs nothing to do.
So are you know how many pictures I take on my iPhone that are not good? Like it,
Bro, the $100 it costs to get every single one done.
then you'll have them.
Then you have the two that you want to have printed and framed.
Yeah, maybe.
It's worth it.
But it was like, back then these guys were just like really pumped that someone gave a shit. And
Oh, wow.
a kid nonetheless, right? So they would do the wheelies and stuff, and they were dragging
course.
me. But this was, and there was, you'd wait. You'd have to wait for people to come. And they wouldn't do laps. They would just one and then done. And then
go.
you'd wait for 10 minutes and then another one,
That was kind of fun, too, though, because you could hear them coming, and you'd
Mm-hmm.
oh, what's that going to be? Oh, it's a bike. Oh, it's a car. What kind of car? All that stuff,
Yeah, it's funny because I just remember all this stuff. Like I learned to drive.
Did you
up
do that
there.
stuff with your dad ever, too? Like listening to all the stuff?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you're talking about, yeah.
Oh yeah, I learned to drive on Stunt Road.
Oh, my God. That's where we were at the top of Stunt Road there when I called it Pyoma in the video.
Oh,
That's where I learned to drive a stick. I had
Really?
yeah,
Holy shit.
I had a Beetle, and my friend and I would ditch out after school, and we would just go up Stunt Road and down, and up Stunt Road and down.
that's really smart.
stop
I
here,
learned
get
in a
going again.
flat area that's not beneficial
Nope.
to learn stick
We
shift.
would just
I grew up in Manhattan. That's how I learned. So the same thing.
No.
Same thing. Well, yeah, but then you can drive anywhere.
exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You're awesome, man.
I thought that would pretty good little video.
Absolutely, and thank you
I
for
like it.
noticing. Can't wait to
Definitely.
do something with Breakfast Club having you tomorrow.
I'm looking
That's
forward
gonna
to
be
it.
rad.
What time, by the way?
Oh, you're a dick. How do you get there? What time do you meet? I want to. Is this your? Do you know how many times you've been here on the show?
3.
This is the third.
I think this is the 3rd.
Ah, shit, you were right. I thought it was the 4th. I couldn't remember.
No,
so was
I
it
came
2?
once alone, then once with Puckhaber, and then once now.
Oh wow. But is this your first time with the desk and chairs, or we already did this?
Ooh.
Like with the full studio conversion and
It's
everything.
the first time like this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm
So-
pretty sure.
So what do you think?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's more
For some-
comfortable than it looks at home, right?
Hang on a second. I am not sweating in this chair like I was the first time. The first time I was here, I was like boiling.
Oh, so
in
you
this
have
chair.
been in the chair. Yeah, so you have been in the desk and chairs before.
Yes, but it was in a different configuration.
Oh, I see.
You guys didn't have this. Excuse me. You didn't have this desk, did you?
I think so. Letterman's desk.
We've only had this one or a flat metal table.
I remember the table for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I think it was when we first moved this stuff in. We still did it.
You had
we
it in
didn't
a
convert the
different-
full place to the studio.
Was this always in this spot? No, you had it
Inches. Everything's
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. This how this how this all is new. All right, Mrs. Ryan. Let's see. Tomorrow, Breakfast Club. Breakfast
Yippee.
Club up at Newcomb's Ranch. Come on
time
out.
and where is it?
Newcomb's Ranch opens up at
You
9
did.
a.m. We recommend people get there at any time. Tomorrow's going to be, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. I think it could be a big one. It could
I
be a
have a
dud.
feeling
I
it's gonna
have
be a
no
lot of
idea.
You think so?
I do, because it's the weekend before a holiday. Nobody works Friday before a holiday. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm
I
thinking
mean,
the
that'll
same
be
thing, and
great.
people are saying, like, oh, yeah, plan on it. I'm planning on it. I'm planning on it. So
Cool.
even if, like, half those people show up, it should be pretty good. Anyway, if you want to see a bunch of Porsches,
Can't
come
wait
on
to
out.
see everybody.
There is no official meet time, and there is no official eat time. Get there whenever you want. That's truth. I mean, if you're there before noon, there will be Porsches. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And then also, we are gone. We may come in. There may be some pop-up
Sporadic.
shows, but nothing official. It's more like, oh, we're going to come in. There's a couple people coming to town that maybe it's all maybe stuff right now. But we may turn the cameras on and pop up. Otherwise, officially, we will be back on January 2nd, and Craig Schumacher will be here, which is pretty cool. Craig Schumacher is a comedian, but from what we do, he used to be do you remember when Magic Johnson had a talk show for a little bit? The Magic Hour?
Like vaguely, yes.
Okay, well, it wasn't amazing, but he was the
co-host or
the sidekick co-host
Really?
on the Magic Hour, yeah. Oh, Craig, you bad. Doing his Magic Johnson impression. I'm really excited to have him here because like I've watched him,
It'll be
forever,
awesome.
Right.
so it's kind of cool. And then more stuff. So we love everybody. We love you, man, for real deal.
Thank you for having me.
So good to see
Thank you. I love you, Mrs. Ryan. We love
you.
all of you at home. Good night, everybody. Love one another.
See you soon. Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Yeah, that's exactly what happened right now over there.
What's the color bar, right? Like it looks like the side of a Toys R Us. I always thought that.